The Detroit Tigers are one of those teams that are usually near the bottom of the league outside of brief periods of success. For example, the team missed the playoffs for 18 consecutive seasons from 1988 to 2005, before going on an improbable run to the World Series in 2006, where they lost in 5 games to the St. Louis Cardinals. Following this run, they missed the playoffs for 4 more seasons before a dominant 4-year run from 2011 to 2014. During this period, the team won 4 straight AL Central titles and had players win 3 MVP awards, 2 Cy Young awards, and 2 Triple Crowns. The team also won another AL pennant in 2012 before being swept in the World Series by the San Francisco Giants. Following this period of success, the team missed the playoffs for another 9 consecutive seasons, including a 2019 season where they lost 114 games. This all changed when he arrived. The emergence of Tarik Skubal as the best pitcher in baseball in 2024 helped breathe new life into a floundering franchise. Behind Skubal's pitching, the Tigers made the playoffs in 2024 and 2025, but lost in Game 5 of the ALDS both years. Now, with Skubal set to be a free agent after the 2026 season, the entire league is wondering what Detroit will do. Will they sign him to the mega contract that he's worth? Will they trade him for a massive haul of top prospects? Or will they let him walk for nothing in free agency to either the Dodgers or Yankees? While what Detroit's future looks like remains in limbo, presently it's clear the team is all in on 2026. Alongside Skubal, the rotation brings back Jack Flaherty and Casey Mize, as well as former Astros ace Framber Valdez, who signed a 3-year, $115 million contract in the offseason. In the lineup, you have serious power in Kerry Carpenter, Riley Green, and Spencer Torkelson, who all hit more than 25 home runs in 2025. Infielders Zach McKinstry and Gleyber Torres both put up almost 3 WAR apiece last year as well. It's not a question of if the Tigers are favorites to win the AL Central and make it back to the postseason for a 3rd straight year. The question is, will they be able to do what those early 2010 teams were unable to do and deliver a championship to Detroit? And, regardless of what happens this season, what direction will the franchise be heading in when the sport reemerges from the impending lockout following the upcoming season? That is what we are going to find out today. Alright guys, welcome on back into the channel. We are about to start our Tigers rebuild here on the channel. I want to thank this commenter here with the comment on the post I made in the community tab on the channel. He suggested I do the Detroit rebuild here today following the Framber Valdez signing, and I thought that was a great idea. Also, a lot of you guys have been asking what roster I've been using here. I have been using the Monkey Man 23's rosters. He updates them almost every day. If you go into the roster vault and you search by online ID and you type in the Monkey Man 23, you'll find them. So you should be able to find them pretty easily. And here we have Detroit's roster, and there you have it. Tarik Skubal is, the main guy we're focused on here today with, 99 overall at 28 years old, but he is a free agent following this season. Behind him in the rotation, we do have Framber Valdez, who, like I said, comes over from Houston after a really good career there. I mean, he had several really good seasons. He's going to be making $38 million a year, which is kind of crazy, but he's a 2-time All-Star, 90 years old, should be able to hold, a pretty high overall rating for at least a couple of years. You have Jack Flaherty, who didn't do that good in real life in 2025, but, is 83 overall at 29 years old isn't bad. He is a free agent after this year, so that $17.5 million he's making is going to come off the books. We'll have to see if we want to use that either to bring back Skubal, go sign someone else, bring back Flaherty. We'll figure that all out later. And then we also have Casey Mize here, who, has kind of been up and down in his career. He had a really good 2025. He's an 83 overall here. He is also a free agent after this year. So most of this rotation could be gone after this year. We also have a 25-year-old Reese Olson, who has really good velocity and break there. We'd like to get those per 9s up a little bit. He's got a few more years of team control, so maybe he could develop into a nice number 2 or number 3 starter on this team. We also have Jackson Jobe down here in the minors with a potential. We'll see how he develops. We've got a couple other guys with pretty good potential who could develop into something, you know, further on down in this rebuild. In the bullpen, we've got Will Vest and Kyle Finnegan. We also have Brant Herter. I would like to add maybe one or two more pieces to this bullpen. We do have future Hall of Famer Kenley Jansen, but he's 37 years old, so he's going to be regressing. He's also a free agent after the year. At catcher, we've got 26-year-old Dylan Dingler, who has pretty good contact, decent hitting stats, really good fielder, a cannon of an arm, and then behind him is Jake Rogers. You know, I think we're pretty set at catcher. We'll see how Dingler performs at the plate. We may end up replacing him. Spencer Torkelson is going to be the first baseman, at least for the first year or two here. See if he continues to develop and if he can hit like he did in real life in 2025. He's got a couple more years of team control, so he should be fairly cheap. Gleyber, I love Gleyber. He's a former Yankee. I was really sad to see him go to the Tigers, but I understand why we ended up letting him go. You know, he's had a couple of good years, but really was never able to recreate his success from 2019 during the juiced ball days. He's got 22 mil here. I think in real life he's signed through 2026, but in this he's only got 1 year left. He'll be a free agent after this season, so we'll have to decide if we want to bring him back. We'll see how he does this year. At third base, we do have a 23-year-old Colt Keith, a 74 overall. Not great against lefties. The fielding isn't where I would like it for a third baseman. We'll see how he does. He's got several years under contract of being really cheap, so, you know, he may end up just being a bit of a backup if he doesn't develop well. At shortstop, you have Zach McKinstry, who kind of broke out last year. Good utility, can play the entire infield as well as the corner outfield positions. I really like him. Kevin McGonigal is going to spend the first year down in the minors developing some more, and then we'll see where he's at that point. Riley Green is, I mean, just incredible, especially against righties. We'll see if he develops against lefties a little bit more, but he's definitely going to be on this team long term. He's got a couple more years of arbitration. We've got Javi Baez here in center. I mean, he's got really good fielding. He's good against lefties, contact-wise at least. 58 is way too slow for a center fielder, in my opinion, in this game. He's making 23 mil a year. We'll see how he does to start the year. He might be someone we end up moving at the deadline and maybe let Parker Meadows take over. We do have Max Clark, who has a potential. Hopefully he develops very quickly and gets called up sometime probably in year 2 or 3. And then you have Kerry Carpenter, kind of like Riley Green, very similar, you know, not a great fielder, doesn't have great speed, but really good against righties. Kind of want him to develop a little bit more against lefties. Again, he's got 2 more years of arbitration after this year, so he's going to be pretty cheap. Let's go ahead and hop into this and get it started. One thing I am going to do differently in this rebuild that I haven't done in the last couple of rebuilds is last couple I left scouting on auto and I didn't really care much about like the draft and all that. I'm going to try to do that a little bit more in this rebuild. I know that y'all kind of like the draft and like, you know, trying to get good prospects and develop them. So I'm going to try to do that a little bit more. So I'm going to do my own scouting actually here. Also, I'm not going to go ahead and just immediately re-sign Skubal. I could here if I wanted to, but I'm gonna wait until, you know, middle of the season and kind of see how things are looking for the team and kind of decide then what we want to do. We could give Riley Green an extension here, but he wants 20 mil a year. Kerry Carpenter, I'm guessing, is going to want something similar. Yeah, 17 mil a year. So we're going to wait a bit and see what we're going to do in terms of contracts. Okay, lineup going into year 1. We're going to have Zach McKinstry at short leading off against righties. We're going to have Riley Green at DH batting second, and then Torque at first, Kerry Carpenter in right, Gleyber at second, Matt Vierling out in left, Dylan Dingler as catcher, Colt Keith at third, and then Javi Baez in center. But then against the lefties, we're going to have Torque move up to second, Green moves down to third, and then Perez moves into left field as Vierling moves down to third base because Colt Keith can't hit lefties. Vierling is pretty good against lefties, as is Perez as a switch hitter. So that's how the lineup is going to look. And then the rotation, you've got Skubal, Valdez, Mize, Flaherty, and Olsen. And then here's what our bullpen looks like with Kenley Jansen as our closer. Let's go ahead and start simulating and see how we do here in season 1. All right, we're at the All-Star break here in year 1. Let's hop in and see if any of of our guys made the American League All-Star team. Looks like Logan Gilbert is getting the start. We do have Kenley Jansen here at 37 years old. He has 23 saves, and he is going to be an All-Star for the fifth time in his career. But that's the only guy I see there. Let's see if we have any of our hitters. Riley Green is here. He's got 27 home runs already on the year, which is a career high for him, in 880 OPS, and this will be his second All-Star appearance. Anyone else on the team make it? Doesn't look like it. So we had the Kenley Jansen and Riley Green are our two All-Stars. Now, we did have some injuries early on in the season. Casey Mize missed like 2 months, but he's come back and is playing really well. And then also on the injured list for us is Gleyber Torres, a torn MCL. He's going to be out the entire season. He was doing really well too, in 870 OPS when he got injured. He went down like the first month of the season. So yeah, it was a bit of a rough time. Overall, the lineup's looking good. Green's doing good. Carpenter's doing good. Torque, the average isn't there, but I mean, he's hitting homers, which is what he's supposed to do. Holt Keith is performing above what I thought he would. McKinstry hasn't been great hitting wise. But other than that, I'm pretty happy with where team is offensively, and then pitching wise, I mean, the rotation is just as good as we thought it would be. Reese Olson's kind of come out of nowhere and has been amazing, which is what I wanted. I am going to throw Flaherty back into the rotation. He was struggling a bit, so I threw him in the bullpen, but this guy's not doing great either, so we're going to let him come back into the rotation for a bit going into the second half of the season here. Let's take a look at our draft picks here. My number one pick was this third baseman who turns out to have 85 potential, 64 overall at 21 years old. Power's not there, but he's got all right contact. He might develop into something. We got two guys here that have high B potential. Dewey Little has 89 potential, as does Alexi Calderon. We got Ken O'Neill here with 79 potential. We got Rich Oliver with our final pick with A potential. He's a 48 overall at 18 years old. We'll see how all of these guys develop, but overall a very solid draft, better than what we've seen in the last couple of rebuilds. And here we go, contract extensions, man. I've already gone past the trade deadline, so we're not trading Skubal. So the question is now, do we bring him back? I think we do, man. I mean, 3.21 ERA, probably gonna win another Cy Young this year. Like, I'm willing to give him a 10-year, $400 million deal because we need him. Like, we need Skubal, and he's going to sign. So we have Tarik Skubal for the rest of this rebuild. Riley Green was an all-star. He's got 32 homers and 877 OPS, has put up 2.3 WAR. He's on arbitration the next 2 years, so I'm going to let that ride. Mize, free agent after this year, but has come back from that injury and has been really, really good. He only wants 23 mil a year, which for him is actually not a ton of money. If I can get him a little bit cheaper, like 7 years, 160, I'm going to sign that. He wants a little bit more. Let's go like 162. He wants a little bit more. We'll probably re-sign him in the offseason. Flaherty, we're probably going to let... actually, his numbers now are looking pretty good. He's kind of turned it around here. We'll wait till the end of the season. Torque, I think he's got arbitration. He does. So does Kerry Carpenter. Reese Olson has arbitration for 3 years. So I think the rest of these guys we can kind of wait on. But we did go ahead and sign Skubal to a $400 million contract. And yeah, let's let it ride for the rest of the season and see how we do. All right, the end of season one, we won 89 games and we're a wild card team, mainly because we lost a lot of games. We lost 2 out of 3 to the Braves here, got swept by Cleveland, who I believe ended up winning our division, and then lost 2 out of 3 to Boston to finish up the season. Actually, the Royals ended up winning the division with 93 wins. The Guardians were the other wild card team in the AL, as well as the Rangers here. Let's go see how the team did this year. Matt Vierling played 139 games between left field and third base for us, had 39 doubles, 19 homers, 79 RBIs, 11 stolen bases, 777 OPS, put up 2.6 WAR. Riley Green was the star this year, made an all-star team, 159 games, 34 doubles, 40 homers, 105 RBIs, and 828 OPS, put up 2.2 WAR, so I guess he wasn't great in the field. Actually, he was our DH this year, so yeah, that makes sense. Got the all-star appearance. Gary Carpenter had a really good year, 139 games, 23 doubles, 34 homers, 86 RBIs, 823 OPS, and 0.8 WAR. He also got a Silver Slugger this year, which is really cool. Torque, 152 games, 25 doubles, 28 homers. I mean, 234 average isn't great, but a 327 on base, 754 OPS, 2.6 WAR. I will take that. A Gold Glove at first, actually. Yeah, I will definitely take that. Colt Keith, really good second year, 136 games, 31 doubles, 12 homers, 804 OPS, 3.2 WAR. That is solid, man. So this is definitely going to be our third baseman of the future. Would like for him to develop against lefties a little bit more. He only played against righties this year. So next year he'll be playing against both. So hopefully he does all right there. Dylan Dingler was our catcher for the majority of the year, 137 games, 28 doubles, 13 homers, 285 average, 751 OPS, and 3.6 WAR. We've got him for a couple more years on team control. He's injured here. Got Jake Rogers as the backup, who had played in 30 games, did all right. Javi Baez, 148 games, 23 doubles, 19 homers, 733 OPS, 3.2 WAR out in center. So he did all right. Didn't win any awards, but he did all right. But I don't know if he did $23 million all right. You know what I'm saying? Zach McKinstry kind of did better in the second half. 143 games, 32 doubles is really nice. 17 homers, 745 OPS, 2.9 WAR. So definitely did better in the second half of the season. And then Perez played a lot of games for us. 108 games in the outfield, 19 doubles, 12 homers, 681 OPS, negative WAR though. Parker Meadows played 88 games, 17 doubles, 4 homers, 703 OPS, 1.5 WAR in only 88 games actually isn't bad. So he might get a little more playing time next year. Ray Sweeney only got into 27 games. I don't know why that second baseman is called up. He was not on the team this year, so I don't know why you're on the playoff roster. We signed Starling Marte midway through the year just to be an extra outfielder. He played 32 games, had a 727 OPS, 0.7 WAR, so not awful. Rotation-wise, Skubal continues to be amazing. 33 starts, 16 wins, 8 losses, 211 innings, 222 strikeouts, an ERA under 3, put up 5.5 WAR, and does not win Cy Young. Interesting. Very interesting. Framber Valdez proves to be a worthy signing. 198 innings, 181 strikeouts, a 3.44 ERA, 3.3 WAR. Casey Mize, not as good in the second half, but I mean, all right. 21 starts, 116 innings, a 4.19 ERA, and 1.5 WAR. Jack Flaherty did a lot better down the stretch. Ended up starting 24 games, 9-6 record, 144 innings, 154 strikeouts, a 3.36 ERA, and 2.3 WAR. Reese Olson had a phenomenal year. 32 starts, a 10-7 record, 178 innings, 162 strikeouts, a 2.83 ERA, and 3.2 WAR. Bullpen overall looks pretty good. Drew Anderson was terrible. Yeah, just awful. Kenley Jansen, the ERA is high, but for a reliever, he actually had 11 losses, 8 blown saves. He's at 484 career saves now, so he's not going to be back with us next year. He was an all-star this year. But yeah, I think we'll move and let like Will Vest or someone else probably get a new closer in free agency, I would figure. We had some league leaders. Skubal led in innings pitched, was the leader in homers. It was Stanton. I've seen this a few times where Stanton plays like all 160 and hits like 50 something homers when he actually is able to stay healthy. He wins an MVP. Of course he does. He won MVP this year. Okay, let's go look at the awards. Stanton wins AL MVP at 35 years old. He's now at 479 career homers. Cy Young goes to Garrett Crochet, who had more strikeouts. He had one more win, but Skubal had a much better ERA. Gilbert also had a much better ERA, and Gilbert had 6.9 WAR. Nice. What did Crochet put up? 6.3, and Skubal put up 5.5 WAR. Okay. I would have liked to have seen Skubal get that, but I think Gilbert honestly deserved it more than Crochet. But now we've got Texas on the road for a 3-game set. So Skubal on the mound here against Mackenzie Gore, who had a pretty good season by looking at the stats here. Game 1 on the road. We don't have 2 lineups. Okay. Game 1 against the Rangers and Mackenzie Gore on the road here. Let's see how we do. We win that one. Framber Valdez against Nathan Eovaldi to move on to the ALDS. We lose that one. Game 3, we've got Casey Mize against Jacob deGrom. We lose that one, and just like that, season 1 is over. Let's simulate the rest of the postseason. The Royals, who won our division, go on to beat the Phillies in the World Series. Kenley Jansen does decide to retire at age 38. We have some exclusive free agents that we can offer here. Casey Mize, he wants $23 million a year, so I'm going to throw him the qualifying offer. And then, because he's only 28 and only asking for like $23 million, I'll give him 5 years, $115. See if he takes that. Flaherty, 30. Also played really good last year. We'll throw the qualifying offer at him, and I'll give him 3 years, 70 mil. Glaber, what's he want? He wants 15 million, which is less than what he was getting. I may look to see what else we can get that might be a little cheaper, just because we're going to be spending so much to retain these starters. Do I throw the qualifying offer at him though? I don't think I do. I don't think so. One thing I really wish they would change about this game is that when you go to offer arbitration, it just pulls up, it defaults it to their previous salary instead of defaulting it to like what would be a reasonable offer based on their performance. I wish they would do that, because Out of the Park does that and it makes it so much easier. Okay, so we're in free agency. Mize has some interest in being here. Flaherty does not want to be here, so I'm not going to waste time going after him. It recommends Jazz Chisholm as a possible free agent for us. 836 OPS at 3.4 WAR. He would be a really good addition to this team, because we did lose Gleyber Torres. We do have Javi Baez, who we can play at second if we want to, but Jazz is asking for less than what Javi's making, and then we can trade Baez away. And then we need a closer. So let me see who's here. There's Bednar, who was all right, had 9 blown saves last year, so I don't really trust him. Dennis Santana always does amazing in simulation. Pete Fairbanks is here. He had 46 saves, only 3 blown saves. He wants 9 mil, but probably get him a little bit cheaper, I think. I think this is what we're going to lock in for our free agents for the first week. But I am going to look at the trade block. Brent Rooker is here. Ooh, if you watch the A's rebuild, Brent Rooker does really good in simulation. What do you want for him? No trades found. Will you take Javi Baez? We're definitely interested in doing this. Do I get rid of Javi Baez? He's not going to hit as many homers as up 3 WAR this year, though. Now I'm starting to think I might be able to get a little bit more for Baez than I was thinking I could, because he had a really good year. Honestly, I think I might do that, because also Rooker's on a pretty decent contract. Green would go back into the outfield. We'd have Green and Carpenter in the outfield. Rooker is DH. Clark's going to come up this year, most likely, and he'll play center. So yeah, let's do that. And we get off this Javi Baez contract, and maybe they'll give me a little something extra. Maybe, you know, like a little... No. Okay, let's see if they do this. Yeah, okay, so we just got Brent Rooker for Javi Baez. Very nice. Very good trade for us. And now we're going to see if we can get Jazz to play second for us. Ryan Abreu, I'm not really interested in him. Jazz is very interested in coming here, so we're going to shoot him. He wants 7 years, 22.6. I'll go up to... I mean, I'll give you what Baez was making over 5 years. Then these guys aren't really interested yet. I've got to wait for them to become interested in coming here. Jesus Luzardo signs with the A's. Flaherty has decided to decline the qualifying offer and remain a free agent. We continue negotiating with him. And then Mize has also declined the qualifying offer, so both of them are gone. Now or never. He is rumored to be close to signing with these teams. Okay, I'm gonna go up to 25 mil over 7 years for Jazz. Contract decision incoming. Here we go. Did we get Jazz Chisholm to come to Detroit to replace Javi Baez? Oh, I don't think we did. No, we lost him to the Royals, who just won the World Series and are in our division. Oh my gosh. They gave him 6 years, 27 mil. So you're gonna have a middle infield of Bobby Witt Jr. and Jazz Chisholm Jr. Oh my gosh, that is insane. So now what's most likely going to happen is Colt Keith plays third, McKinstry stays at short, and then we bring up McGonigal and he starts at second for us most likely. Or actually, yeah, McKinstry will stay at short and we'll throw McGonigal at second, let him play this year and see how he does as a rookie. That one hurts. So now we go throw a 5-year 27 mil at Casey Mize. We also throw 2 years 9.45 at Pete Fairbanks. And Brandon Lowe wants 15. Hit 29 homers last year. I honestly don't really want any other hitters. I think we're good on the lineup. Yeah, I think I'm good with the lineup where it is now. We'll try and get these 2 pitchers. Yeah, Jackson Jobe will start. We'll throw McGonigal at second. Or most likely well, actually, Parker Meadows will probably get the run at center this year until Max Clark is ready, because he's not ready yet. He's only a 73 overall, so he's not quite ready. Honestly, Veerling can play center. Yeah, we'll throw Veerling in center because he was really good last year. So we'll throw him in center until Clark is ready to come up, and that's how we'll do that. We may go find another reliever here with our third slot. All right, contract decision is incoming here. Do we get one. Don't think we're going to get him. No, we've lost someone else. Okay, we didn't lose him. He just didn't sign yet. Casey Mize, he wants more. Okay, Fairbanks, did he sign? No, he wants more. I'm giving you more than you're asking for already. Freddie Peralta signs with the Mariners. Chris Sale goes to the Padres. We'll go 6 years, 26 mil for Mize. We're going to go 2 years, 9 mil for Fairbanks. Alvarado's not interested in being here. All right, Fairbanks here. Contract decision incoming. Not quite. And a contract decision incoming for Casey Mize. Do we get him here? The 6-year deal. And it doesn't look like we're going to get him. No, we did. We got him. Let's go. Casey Mize is back in Detroit, baby. 6 years, 26 mil. We're going to go 2 years, 9.5 for Pete Fairbanks. We're going to take Alvarado off the board. We'll throw Dennis Santana on here in case Fairbanks says no again. All right, this is our last time we're going to go at Fairbanks, and he says no, so we're moving on from Pete Fairbanks. We're not going to try and sign him anymore. Nico Horner goes back to the Cubs. We're done with Fairbanks. We're just going to focus on Dennis Santana. If we can bring him in, we're good. Okay, I usually don't show the lottery, but it got wild this year. The Rays jump up 11 spots, and the Brewers jump up 10 spots, both to go into the top 3. That is crazy. The Rays get the 1 pick with a 1.1% chance. That's wild. All right, now or never on Dennis Santana, so we're going to go 4 years, 9.8 mil, and see if that's enough. I don't think it is. No, he goes to the Braves. Okay, we still need a good closer. Okay, we weren't able to get Santana or Fairbanks, so we bring in a 79 overall, 36-year-old Raisel Iglesias, who had like 40-something saves last year. We'll throw him in the closer role, and that's going to be it for our offseason. Flaherty ends up signing for 4 years, 29.3 mil a year with the Blue Jays, so it'll be interesting to see how he does there with them. All right, so here's what the lineup looks like going into season 2. We're going to try leading off with Colt Keith because he had that 373 on base last year. He had 70 walks to only 100 strikeouts. We're going to see how he does in the leadoff role. We'll see if he can recreate that this year. Riley Green, best hitter, bats second. Brent Rooker is the DH, bats third. Carpenter in right cleans up. Torque at first, bats fifth. Zach McKinstry at short is sixth. Veerling is starting in center. He bats seventh. Kevin McGonigal, the rookie, is batting eighth and is playing second. And then Dylan Dingler is back as the catcher, batting ninth. Rotation for the year, we've got Skubal, Valdez, Mize, Olsen, and Job. And then, like we said, we got Iglesias for the closer role, Finnegan, Vest. Overall, I feel pretty good about the bullpen this year. So hopefully, we can actually win the division this year. The Royals are going to be a tough out, especially with them adding Jazz. Actually, let's go take a look at them real quick. Yeah, you've got Bobby Witt, you've got Cole Reagans, who's a 90 overall now, struck out 200 batters last year. You've got Jazz, you've got Vinny, who's up to an 88 overall. He hit 35 bombs last year. You've got Michael Garcia, who's an 87 overall. You've got Cedric Mullins, you got Michael Walker. Yeah, the Royals are going to be tough. This is actually a pretty tough division now to win, with Kansas City progressing how they are. But let's go ahead and start simulating and see how we do here in season 2. Also, we have 2 top 10 prospects. McGonigal is the number 5 prospect in baseball. Max Clark is number 7. And then Joshua Brissino is number 14. He's a 21-year-old first baseman. A potential. Where did we get him? Undrafted. I don't know where he came from. All right, midway point of season 2. We're doing all right, 55-42, but we're 7 games back at Kansas City, who I'm just running away with the division. It feels like at this point we are pretty well up for the wild card. Take a look at All-Star game, see if any of our guys made it to the AL All-Star team here. Clanahan's getting the start. Don't see. Actually, there's Raisel Iglesias, who has 33 saves for us on the year with a 1.81 ERA and nearly a full WAR. So that was a great signing for us there. Riley Green is back with another All-Star season. He's got 23 homers so far on here with a 9.6 OPS and 4 WAR so far this year. Oh my gosh. He's hitting 300 with a 363 on base, 563 slug in 88 games. Meanwhile, you got the Royals, who have Bobby Witt Jr., Michael Garcia, Vinny Pasquantino, and Jazz Chisholm all in the starting lineup for the All-Star. Oswald Peraza is an All-Star? What? With a 657 OPS? I guess the Angels had to have someone. Oh my gosh. And Brent Rooker's here as well, so that was a pretty good trade for us. 97 games, 23 doubles, 16 homers, 753 OPS. So those those are our 3 all-stars so far this year. Take a look at the lineup here, see if anything stands out. Nothing really. Everyone's looking good. We did move Keith out of that leadoff slot because his on-base wasn't nearly as good this year as it was last year. His OPS dropped a good bit. Everything else seems all right. The rookie having a bit of a rough go, but he'll figure it out. Playing even war-wise this year. Rotation, Skubal, not as good this year, but still not bad. Ooh, Framber, ERA near 5. Good grief. Casey Mize, an ERA over 4. So is Reese Olson. Jackson Jobe has actually been killing it as a rookie. 105 strikeouts and 105 inning with an ERA right around 4, or right around 3, actually. Yeah, things have been rough pitching-wise this year. All right, let's take a look at our draft picks here this year and see how we did. And we got one guy with 89 potential, our first-round pick. B potential, 18 years old. We've got this left fielder who's a 71 overall already at 18, but he only has 77 potential, so he's not going to get much better. Everyone else has like mid B or high C potential, so not a great draft for us this year. I also went through and signed a lot of guys to some extensions. I signed Riley Green to a 10-year, $310 million extension, so we're going to be paying him $31 million a year for the next 10 years. I also signed Torque to $20.8 million a year for the next 5 years after this year. Dylan Dingler is going to be making $10 million a year for the next 5 years, and Kerry Carpenter is going to be making $18 million a year for the next 5 years, and then Reese Olson is going to get $17.8 million for the next 5 years. Honestly, they probably would have all continued to progress and demanded even more, so I think by signing them early, I got them a little bit cheaper than what I would have had to pay to keep them if I let them go to free agency, and then I would have had to have risked losing them as well. Let's go ahead and simulate the rest of Season 2 and see how we end up doing. All right, at the end of Season 2, we have won 89 games for the second year in a row and made the playoffs as a wildcard team. We'll be taking on Seattle at home in the wildcard round. Let's go see how the lineup did. Matt Vierling in center this year did all right. 139 games, 27 doubles, 17 homers, a 346 on base, which is what I want from my leadoff guy, 785 OPS and 4.3 WAR out in center. I will take that. Riley Green was amazing again, 151 games, 37 doubles, 38 homers, 112 RBIs, a 917 OPS, 6.3 WAR, and he got MVP. Let's go. MVP, All-Star, and Silver Slugger. That is what I am talking about. 6.3 WAR, man, that is crazy. Brent Rooker played all 162 for us as the DH, 36 doubles, 29 homers, 92 RBIs, 785 OPS, 1.4 WAR. He was an All-Star and a Silver Slugger this year. Kerry Carpenter starting to regress a little bit, down to an 85 overall. Don't know what's going on there. 138 games, 19 doubles, 28 homers, 732 OPS. A lot worse than he was last year. 0.9 WAR out there and right. Honestly, I kind of regret giving him this contract now, seeing how he performed this year. That might not be good. Torque, 147 games, 27 doubles, 26 homers, 796 OPS, 2.2 WAR. Colt Keith, 157 games at third, 29 doubles, 14 homers, 716 OPS. Not as good as he was last year, but still put up almost 2 WAR. Dylan Dingler was phenomenal as a catcher for us, 22 doubles, 20 homers, 749 OPS, put up 3.6 WAR behind the dish. Zach McKinstry, kind of the same as last year, 140 games, 22 doubles. The power wasn't there nearly as much this year. The OPS down a lot by almost 100 points, and he was actually negative WAR on the year. We're probably going to have to upgrade at shortstop in the offseason. He is a free agent after this year, so we're going to let him walk. McGonigal, 136 games, 20 doubles, 11 homers, and 645 OPS, and a negative 0.1 WAR in his rookie campaign. Parker Meadows did all right in limited action, and he is progressing up to an 82 overall. We may give him a little bit more run next season, depending on how things goes. Austin Hayes, don't know why he's here. Pitching wise, Skubal turned things around in the second half, still had 15 wins, 208 innings, 204 strikeouts, a 3.2 ERA, and 5.2 WAR on the year. No awards though. Framber Valdez, man, 16 losses, 184 innings, 161 strikeouts, 4.21 ERA, 2.7 WAR. Just not as good this year. I don't know what happened. Casey Mize had 12 wins, 183 innings, 146 strikeouts, 3.64 ERA, and 3.8 WAR. That is what we were talking about. That's why we gave him the fat contract. Reese Olson, not as good as last year, but I mean, kind of hard to expect him to follow up and be as good as he was last year, but still had 15 wins, 178 innings, 147 strikeouts, 3.74 ERA, and 2.1 WAR. Jackson Jobe, successful rookie campaign. line, I would say 32 games, 11 wins, 165 innings, 181 strikeouts, 3.97 ERA, 2.9 WAR. I'll take that. And Raisel Iglesias, man, 51 saves. I mean, we take that. He's at 324 now on his career, a 2.32 ERA. Didn't win reliever of the year. We don't have any league leaders. Who led the league in homers? I want to see. Mike Trout leads the league in homers with 42. He's at 453 now. We do have some awards. Riley Green, of course, got AL MVP. That's the award that they're talking about there. Okay. Question now is, what do we do for this playoff series? Do we throw Framber in game 2 and hope that he just kind of figures it out? Or do we go with Mize and Olsen? I think we go Mize and Olsen in the wild card, and then Valdez gets into the rotation if we make it to the DS. So we're going to go Skubal against Logan Gilbert in game 1 here at home in Detroit. We win that 5-4. Now we've got Casey Mize against Brian Wu at home, and we win it, so we're going to be taking on Kansas City. Ooh, this is going to be rough. All right, KC on the road. We've got Tarik Skubal against Cole Reagans. We win it 8-6. Now we're going to throw Framber out here for game 2 and see how he does. Going up against Noah Cameron, we lose that one 3-1. Now Casey Mize in a pivotal game 3 against Michael Wacha. We win that 5-2. Reese Olson against Alec Marsh in game 4 with an ALCS trip on the line. We lose 7-10. So it's back to Tarik Skubal versus Cole Reagans in game 5 against our divisional rival with a trip to the ALCS on the line. Do we win it? We do. 5-1, baby. We're going to be taking on Texas in the ALCS. Of course, they have the advantage, home field advantage. We've got Framber against Kenzie Gore in game 1. We win it 7-0. Game 2, Casey Mize against Jack Leiter. We win it 3-1. Reese Olson against Nathan Eovaldi. Game 3, we win that. We're up 3-0. We got Skubal on the mound to send us to the World Series. We sweep Texas, and we're going to be taking on the Cubs in the World Series, baby. Let's freaking go. Year 2, wild card team. We're on a run. Let's freaking go. All right, game 1 of the World Series. We've got Tarik Skubal, who's 3-0 in the postseason with a 3.46 ERA, going up against Cade Horton on the road in Chicago. We win it 7-1. Framber Valdez against Shota Imanaga in game 2. We lose 3-7. Game 3 at home, Casey Mize against Edward Cabrera. We lose. Reese Olson against Justin Steele. Game 4, we win it. Now we've got Skubal back on the mound for a big game 5 against Cade Horton. We win it. Game 6 here, we've got Framber versus Shota, who have both been really good in the playoffs. Does Framber get the win here to get us a World Series? No, we're going to game 7. We got Casey Mize against Justin Steele in game 7 here. We're going to quick manage this one, try to get ourselves a World Series. All right, here we go. Justin Steele has not been good in these playoffs. His ERA is over 6, so hopefully we can get to him early and get some runs on the board. Hopefully Casey Mize, who has a 1.32 ERA in the playoffs, get us some scoreless innings. There we go. Already runs on the board for Chicago there in the second. We've only had 1 hit so far, so things not looking good offensively for us so far, but Mize is performing great on the mound despite giving up that 1 run. There we go. Torque with the solo shot ties the game just like that, and a solo shot by Dylan Dingler, the catcher, gives us a lead, and that will be it for Justin Steele. Luke Little is in with 2 on, 1 out for Colt Keith, and the double scores 2. We're up 4-1 here in game 7 of the World Series. Casey Mize going to come out for 1 more inning, and we do it. That's going to be his day. And we put some more runs on here. They're going to make another pitching change, and they get out of it. So that's going to be Mize's day, and that means we're bringing in Tarik Skubal out of the bullpen to get us a couple of innings here, and he gets us 1 scoreless. Still have a 3-run lead, and we still got guys on base. We just can't get any more runs, it seems. 6 outs there from Skubal are huge. Can we get any insurance here in the 8th? No. And we're going to go to our all-star closer, who's been phenomenal all year, Raisel Iglesias, to try and close out the Cubs. We get a fly out, strike out, fly out, and there you have it. The Detroit Tigers in season 2 are World Series champions. Wow. Was not expecting that. Was not expecting this rebuild to be this successful this quick. Brent Rooker gets World Series MVP and playoff MVP. He hit .414 with 2 home runs and 2 RBIs. They are in the World Series. And in the playoffs, he hit .403 with 3 homers and 14 RBIs. Riley Green hit .286, 3 homers, 13 RBIs. Torque had .277 average, 5 homers and 10 RBIs. But man, what a run. I mean, we beat Seattle in the wild card. We were the 4 seed in the AL. Beat Seattle 2-0, then go 5 games with KC, the 1 seed, who, I mean, like, they were such a good team. They were stacked. They had Jazz, they had Witt, they had Vinny. They had so many good players. We sweep Texas, and then we go 7 with Chicago. That is incredible. Really due to the pitching staff just being phenomenal. Let's take a look at the pitching staff here. I mean, like we said, Casey Mize had a 1.35 ERA in the playoffs. Olsen had a 3 ERA. Skubal was phenomenal. Valdez, wasn't awesome, but better than he was in the regular season. So now we just have to figure out what we do to try and repeat. Paul Goldschmidt retires as a member of the Rangers organization. Okay, going into free agency here, we definitely need a new shortstop to replace Zach McKinstry. I kind of want a new right fielder. I mean, Rooker's all right out there. Carpenter's technically a better fielder, but he was awful out there this year. Put up -4. I have half a mind to try and trade him. I know we just gave him a fat extension, but I mean, that really doesn't matter that whole lot. He is regressing, and if we could find a better right fielder. Also, Max Clark is about ready to come up, I think. So honestly, like, if we threw Clark out there, we could throw Meadows out in right if we wanted to, or we could throw Clark in right. But I do want to look in free agency, and then also we need bullpen help because Iglesias is just getting older. The whole bullpen is basically getting older at this point, so we could definitely use some bullpen help. So the recommended free agents here, they've got catchers here for some reason. I feel good about Dylan Dingler as our catcher. He's performed very well. We have about 32 mil to spend here. There's Jeremy Pena here, who's a 90 overall at 29 years old, just had 38 doubles, 25 homers out of nowhere, which is kind of weird. Had an 804 OPS. Average was down a bit, put up 4.3 WAR, was an all-star. That's an interesting one. Go on Duran's here. I guess he was just a regular reliever. They didn't have him as a closer in Philly last year, but I mean, he did all right. Luis Robert's here. He had a pretty good season, honestly. 813 OPS, 5.5 WAR, was a Gold Glove winner. He wants 23 mil. Ozzy Albies at second. We could move McGonigal back to short. Had a 707 OPS, 1.9 WAR. There's Seiya Suzuki. Throw him out in right. He's a decent fielder in right, but 1.9 WAR last year. Had a perfect field percentage. Jeff Hoffman, 34 years old, just had 38 saves, but had 10 blown saves. Griffin Jacks had 10 blown saves this year. Emilio Don had 46 saves, only 6 blown saves. Doc Paredes, not sure why he's recommended here. Willie Castro here, he can play basically the entire infield. Had a 747 OPS. Go look a little bit more in depth at some of these. Yeah, here's McKinstry. He only wants 12 mil as opposed to Jeremy Pena, who wants double that. He's regressing at 31. The bat's falling off. The fielding's falling off. I'm just like, he had 19 errors. Good fucking grief, man. Yeah, you're not coming back. You're not. Shortstop free agents are just not good. Like, it's Pena, and then there's McKinstry. So the only option really, you could get like a Brennan Donovan for a lot cheaper. The thing is, his bat was awful this year. His fielding's really good. He can play the whole infield. Be good at second. Really good against righties still. Good vision. Good clutch. Bryson Stott. Gavin Lux, who we know from the Mets rebuild, is always good in simulation. Gets a lot of doubles. Really high OPS. High on base. Good fielder. Ooh, that could be the move. I like Brennan Donovan. Ooh, Emilio Pagan seems like the best option in terms of closer. And then my other choice is going to be Gavin Lux. He can play second, and I could move McGonigal back to short. So that's what my free agents are going to look like this first week. Okay, looking at this immediately, Pagan really wants to be here. He wants 11 mil as the closer. I'll give you like 1 year, 9 mil. Donovan and Lux really aren't that interested. Oh, it's because McGonigal's there, which means their motivations decrease. But if I went and moved him back to short, which is where he's most likely going to play if we get either of those guys, what are their feelings now? Yeah, now Lux has a 63% want to come here. Donovan, honestly, Donovan could solve the outfield issue. I don't know if I want him over. We're gonna swap these. Lux, you're gonna get at 29, you're gonna get 4 years, 13.5 from me. Give me like 25 doubles and 350 on base and Gold Glove fielding, hopefully. Brennan Donovan, he's about to sign with the Mariners. Let him walk. Let him go to the Mariners. Yeah, he got 6 years, 15 mil. I probably wasn't offering that much. Emilio Pagan, contract decision incoming. He doesn't like it. I don't want to give him that much money. Gavin Lux, not quite. Okay, interesting. Interesting. The Lux is up to 69% willing to come here. That's nice. I'll give you 12.8 mil at 5 years. And then Pagan, I'll give you 1 year. Is there anyone else that's like would actually be my closer? I mean, honestly, you could throw Camilo Duvall as the closer. Just had 44 saves for the Yanks. I'll give him 1 year at just under 10 mil. Gavin Lux, contract decision. And we got him. Okay. I'm feeling really good about our chances to repeat now. Emilio Pagan, I don't think he's coming. No. Okay. Get him off the board. We'll go after Camilo Duvall. We're going to throw a fat contract at him for 4 years, 9.5 mil to be our closer. Contract decision incoming. This will be for Camilo Duvall. He was one of the top 25 free agents. We get him. I really hope we do. Yes, we got him. Okay, we got our closer. Feeling pretty good. I'm feeling pretty good about this team. Kenzie Gore just signed an 8-year, 232 mil deal with the Royals. Royals just got a lot better. Oh my gosh, look at this Royals team. You already had Bobby Witt. You already had Jazz. You already had Cole Reagans, who just put up 228 strikeouts on a 2.75 ERA. You bring in Mackenzie Gore from Texas, who we swept in the playoffs. They bring him in here. They're going to pay him 29 mil a year. They still have Michael Garcia. They still have Vinny. They still have Lucas Urseg, who just had 53 freaking saves for him and won reliever of the year. Now they bring in Chris Sale as well, who just threw 186 innings with a 2.41 ERA and was an all-star. They also have Noah Cameron. Good grief, this Royals team is crazy. Oh my gosh. We have got to do something to match that. I mean, honestly, do we though? Honestly, everyone's just kind of progressing. We got Gavin Lux, who's going to be really good at second for us. Holt Keith continues to progress. McGonagall's moving back to short. You know, hopefully he does better in his second year. The contact's way up. The power's starting to come along. Riley Green is an MVP. You've got Parker Meadows. Max Clark's probably going to get some playing time here and there. And then you've got Brent Rooker and Kerry Carpenter. How much do I still have left to spend is the question. Yeah, I've got 4 mil left to spend. I think we're kind of done with this offseason, and we're just gonna have to move on and see how we do next year. Okay, second year in a row I'm showing the draft lottery just because it's crazy. The Mets were literally the last team in the lottery. They were at 15. They had a 0.6% chance to get it. Okay, not the last team actually, my bad. But they jump up 14 spots from 15 to 1. The Astros jump up 6 from 12 to 6. That is crazy. Oh, the Mets, man. Oh, I love it. I love it when the lottery is kind of crazy, especially when I'm not in it, man. Look at the Royals, won 101 games last year and got knocked out in the ALDS by us, man. We were looking at Jeremy Pena early on in free agency. He ends up going to the Braves. That's a great pickup for the Braves, actually. Ooh, that's a really good pickup for them. All right, lineup going into season 3. We're going to have Gavin Lux leading off because he had a 363 on base last year. Then Brent Rooker bats second, Green bats third, Torque bats fourth, Carpenter bats fifth, Holt Keith bats sixth against righties. It changes up a little bit from this point on against lefties. Dingler catches, bats seventh. McGonigal back at short, bats eighth. Against righties, we're going to have Parker Meadows playing center. And then against lefties, Jahmai Jones comes in to play center because he's really good against lefties. And then Colt Keith bats ninth against lefties. And then everyone else kind of moves up a bit. Rotation's going to be Skubal, Framber, Mize, Job, Olsen. Here's what our bullpen looks like. Let's start simulating and see how we do in season 3 and see if we can defend our World Series championship. Also, I did want to say I didn't bring up Max Clark yet, mainly because he's a 77 overall, but most of that is because of like durability, discipline, fielding, speed. Like those are all making that overall be a bit inflated. His hitting numbers, the contact against righties is all right, but the contact against lefties, the power, the discipline, the clutch, it's not there yet where I want it. So at 22, he's going to stay down in the minors, probably come up maybe sometime during the middle of the season if he's doing good in the minors. If he's not doing good, he's going to stay down there all year and he'll come up next year. All right, midway point of season 3, things are going a lot better than I expected. We are 6 games up in the division, 11 games up on Kansas City, who's last in the division with a 49-48 record. So everyone in the division's above 500. The division is just incredibly competitive, but we're 6 games up because we're just that effing dominant. Take a look at the all-star team. Hunter Tanner Brown is starting. He's playing phenomenally for the Astros. Casey Mize is an all-star this year, even though he's starting to regress a little bit, but he's playing phenomenally. Anyone else here? Camilo Duvall is pitching phenomenally, 28 saves in 30 attempts. So 2 really good pitchers there for us. J-Ram's here. He's still going strong at 34. Very, very good to see from old J-Ram there. Let's see. Anyone on our team? No one from our team is in the starting lineup. Brent Rooker is here on the bench. He's got 21 homers on the year so far with an 849 OPS. And that is going to be it. Overall, the lineup's doing really good. Gavin Lux is playing phenomenal. Has a 337 average and on base near 400, 885 OPS, 27 doubles already on the year, has already put up 2.6 WAR. Rooker, like we said, was an all-star. Riley Green doesn't repeat his MVP season from last year, but I mean, still doing all right. Tarik has been awful. He's regressing. His potential's down. Only 9 home runs at the all-star break. OPS below 700. Holt Keith has been doing good. Tarik Carpenter's kind of turning it around. He had a rough start to the year. McGonigal actually has a really high batting average right now. And we did go ahead and call up Max Clark, who has, gotten off to a bit of a hard start through his first handful of games. So maybe he's the future center fielder for us. Here are our draft picks for season 3, and we finally get some really good draft picks. We got 3 starters, 19 years old with A potential, including this guy here who has 96 potential. The rest of them not great, all C potential. Just not good at getting position players for some reason. This guy actually is a 74 overall at 18 years old. Actually not bad. Player might develop a little more. He's actually already at his potential. That's disappointing. Also, I am going to go ahead and give a contract extension to Framber Valdez. We're going to go 3 years, 80 mil, or 70. Let's go 78.5 mil. Well, okay, we'll bump it up to 80. So it's going to be about 26.7 mil, which is going to be less than what he's making now by about 12 mil. So that's actually a bit of a pay cut for him. Okay, we'll go 82 mil. Okay, but he has kind of turned it around and he has been really good this season. Let's simulate the rest of this season and see how we end up doing. All right, at the end of season 3, we win 93 games and we finally win the AL Central for the first time. We're going to be taking on the White Sox in the divisional series here. As you can see, we are, actually we'll be taking them on in the wild card. So we've got a 3-game wild card set at home against the White Sox. Let's go see how everyone did this year. As you can see, Gavin Lux was a phenomenal addition. 150 games, 47 doubles, 10 homers, 56 RBIs, a 309 average, 380 on base, 830 OPS, and 4.5 WAR. I hope Gavin Lux continues to do this when MLB The Show 26 comes out, because if so, I'm signing him every fucking time. Brent Rooker had an all-star year, 162 games, 32 homers, 85 RBIs, 826 OPS, and an all-star appearance. Did not get a silver slugger. Riley Green played 158 games, 29 doubles, 36 homers, 99 RBIs, a 797 OPS, a big dip from last year, which is kind of the theme with our offense, it feels like this year. 3.5 WAR. Spencer Torkelson, 154 games, only 21 homers, 84 RBIs, a 711 OPS, 0.7 WAR on the year. Not a good year for him. Tarik Carpenter kind of bounces back after a down year last year. 137 games, 26 doubles, 30 homers, 87 RBIs, a 796 OPS, and 2.6 WAR. One of the few guys to kind of go up this year instead of down. Holt Keith came out of nowhere. 158 games, 24 doubles, 20 homers, 69 RBIs, a 776 OPS, 2.5 WAR. The power against righties has definitely jumped up for him. Dylan Dingler starting to regress a bit. 135 games, 21 doubles, 14 homers, 667 OPS. Yikes. Still had 2.6 WAR behind the dish, I guess. Kevin McGonigal in his second year improved a lot. 34 doubles, 56 RBIs, 11 stolen bases, a 669 OPS. Kind of fell off in the second half, but he's continuing to progress. 1.3 WAR is nice to see. He's going to get a big pay bump next year because I bought out a couple of his arbitration years. And then Max Clark had a pretty good rookie campaign in 91 games, 14 doubles, 3 triples, 10 homers, 6 stolen bases, a 768 OPS, 2.4 WAR. Very excited to see how he continues to progress. Parker Meadows started off the year as our center fielder. He played 90 games, had 7 homers, a 665 OPS, and no one else really played a whole lot to be worth talking about. Pitching rotation, Skubal was phenomenal. 16 wins yet again for him. Did have 11 losses, which is a bit high for him. 211 innings, 218 strikeouts, a 2.73 3.73 ERA, 5.1 WAR. Any awards? No. Skubal is just getting screwed out of Cy Youngs at this point, I feel. Framber Valdez had a much better year this year. 15-5 record, 194 innings, 151 strikeouts, 3.29 ERA, 4.2 WAR. And Casey Mize was also phenomenal this year. A 12-9 record, 202 innings, 100 strikeouts, 2.53 ERA, 4.4 WAR. Also had his first All-Star appearance. Jackson Jobe, the record isn't great, but 159 innings, 141 strikeouts, 4.58 ERA is rough, man. Ugh, not as good as last year. Hopefully he's able to bounce back next year. And then Reese Olson, 13 wins, 174 innings, 155 strikeouts, 3.5 ERA, 2.8 WAR. Very happy with the rotation this year. And Doval as closer, 46 saves, 10 blown saves, a 3.72 ERA. The second half was not kind to him. League leaders, Tarik Skubal led pitchers with 5.1 WAR. Lux led the league in doubles. Brent Rooker led it in walks. Pete Alonso hit 51 homers. We have 3 A's here hitting over 40 homers. Even Soderstrom. Wow, that's a big jump. Yeah, you can see why I had fun with that A's rebuild yesterday. Here we go. We've got a 3-game set at home against the White Sox. We got Tarik Skubal on the mound against Luis Heel. Ooh, I want to see this because he was on waivers and I could have signed him. He's up to an 88 overall. Also, this team made the playoffs. Wow. See, I could have gotten him here, but I guess he got claimed by the White Sox and he's been pretty good for him actually. Wow. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Oh, we've got Tarik Skubal on the mound against him. We win it 2-1. Framber Valdez against Shane Smith in game 2. We win it. We're going to be moving on to face Boston in the ALDS. Casey Mize is on the mound against Carrot Crochet in game 1. We win that 6-1. Jackson Jobe is on the mound against Ranger Suarez in game 2. We lose that 14-1. I want to see that box score. How bad was Jackson Jobe? He gave up 4 earned runs. The bullpen also didn't help. So yeah, it wasn't all Jobe. But now we've got Tarik Skubal back on the mound here in game 3. Pivotal game 3. We lose 6-1. Now we've got Framber Valdez trying to avoid elimination, and we lose there. And we lose to the Red Sox in the ALDS. The Diamondbacks go on to beat the Astros in the World Series. And that will do it for this video, you guys. 3 years, making the playoffs all 3 years. We just continued to get better and better. We won the World Series on a probable run there in year 2 as a wild card team. And honestly, I think the team would just continue to be great. We still have Skubal in his prime, incredibly dominant. Not getting the recognition, from awards, but still playing phenomenally. We have Riley Green in his prime, who's, turned into one of the best hitters in the game, won an MVP award, won a World Series. Framber, he continues to age gracefully, just had probably his best year as a Tiger this year and took a pay cut. So, that would just continue to be better. Brent Rooker's here. We got Casey Mize entering his prime. Borg, hopefully he could figure it out. But then you also have guys like McGonigal here, who at 23 years old is just continuing to get better. You have Colt Keith, who's continuing to get better. And then you have Max Clark, who just had a really good rookie campaign, continuing to progress, continuing to get better. You have all the guys we drafted. I really think that we built a really good team. And this one was a little bit different. We didn't do as many trades. We did the one trade. It was the Brent Rooker trade, where we traded Baez for him straight up. That was the only trade this time. That's really interesting that was the only trade, because we had enough prospects coming up that we really just had to it was mainly the bullpen that we had to solidify. That was where I was always looking, was at the bullpen. Didn't sign that many big free agents, we signed Gavin Lux this year, and then we traded for Brent Rooker, and that was pretty much it. And we just kind of let guys develop, and that's kind of where Detroit is right now. And I think that's kind of shows that, yeah, if Detroit wants to go all in and wants to build around Tarik Skubal and Valdez and that great rotation that they have the pieces to do that if they want to. But we'll have to wait after the season if that's what they decide to do. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. Again, if you enjoyed it, make sure to leave it a like, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the rest of our videos, especially with MLB The Show 26 coming up, which I am very excited for. And I will see you guys in the next video.